So welcome to the video to explain the formula for volume. Okay, this is the same formula sheet that you would have used for surface area. So I've linked it to today's date, and you can go ahead and print this out again if you don't have it. And if you do have it, you can just go back and look for it and get that out and sort of follow along. So the way we're going to think about volume is there's only going to be 3 formulas that you're going to need, which is actually pretty nice. So the first thing is, if you have a cylinder or a prism of any kind, okay? If you have a cylinder or any kind of prism, the formula is going to be very simple. You're literally going to take the area of the base of the shape. So the area of the base depends on what shape you see. And you're going to multiply that by the height of the object. Okay, so any cylinder or prism, you take the area of the base of the shape times the height. So let's see, could I draw a picture? I'm not really that great at drawing pictures, but let's say I have a cylinder, right? Here's a cylinder. And just to give you, and I'm gonna do more like real examples in future videos, but let's say that's a cylinder, okay? Area of the base means, okay, what's the base? The base is a circle, right? So you're gonna do pi r squared, because that's the formula for the circle, times how tall this thing is, which would be measured by the height. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Okay, now, in contrast, you could have something like a cone or a pyramid. And the way that I think about a cone or a pyramid is it'll come to a point. Now, why is that different? Well, if you have, let's just say, a cone, right? In comparison to the cylinder, you can see the cone looks like it has less volume. It looks like it's a little bit skinnier because it comes to this point. Specifically, you're going to see in an Edpuzzle video that I'm assigning you next that the cone actually holds 1/3 of the amount of water that its cylinder would hold, okay? And you'll see a demonstration where they pour water into the cone and all that stuff. And I really want you to watch that video to get a visual demonstration. But anytime you have a cone or pyramid, right, where the object comes to a point, you're gonna have less volume, specifically 1/3 of the amount that you normally would have if you had a cylinder. So anytime you see a cone or pyramid, you wanna put the 1/3 in front of the original formula that you learned. And then you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna take the area of the base times the height. So for example, if you're calculating the volume of this cone, you would do 1/3 times the area of the circle times how tall or the height of the cone. And you would use the regular height, not a slant height. Okay, and the only other shape that you could be asked to calculate the volume of would be a sphere, and that's just, think about it as a ball, okay? And the formula for that, which you will actually learn in calculus, you will derive this specific formula. So I will not introduce that here because it's a little too advanced for us, but the volume of the sphere is going to be 4/3 pi r cubed. Again, r is the radius, and notice I have units cubed. So when you do any of these calculations, you're gonna say, hey, wait a minute, do I have a cylinder or a prism? If so, I use the top formula. Do I have a cone or pyramid? If so, I use, it's basically the same formula, except times 1/3. Or is it a sphere, right? Is it a basketball or a baseball or some kind of ball? In which case I use 4/3 pi r cubed. So I hope that was helpful. Keep this formula sheet handy. And in the next video, we'll do some actual calculations using volume.